Hi, good morning, everyone. So thank you for tuning in to the explanation for materials that are given on our sixth meeting in the Introduction to Linguistics class. And we are going to focus on morphology. So last week, we were looking at how words are created. And now we go at the structure of the words. So still related to words, right? But the other side of the study. And this is the point, the agenda for today's discussion. First, we are going to look at morphology, word morphemes, types of morphemes, morph and allomorph. And the primary reading for today's class is a chapter by George Yule. And I've already uploaded the chapter in Sipejar, and you can read the chapter. It's pretty short and easy to read. So please do go to Sipejar and read the chapter. Right, so these are some questions that we are going to try to answer by today's lecture. So what is word? What is a morpheme? What are types of morphemes? What is allomorph? And what is morphology itself? Yeah. So hopefully after listening to the lecture, you will be able to answer all of these questions. Okay, so words. Now we are going to look at this concept, words. There are several sentences here, and I want you to look at them, spend some time, and try to see what are some of the problems in there. A flea and a fly in a flue were imprisoned. So what could they do? Said the flea, let us fly. Said the fly, let us flee. So they flew through a flaw in the flue. You can pause the video and try to think and then find out the answers the next slide. Okay, so defining a word. We might have problems in defining a word. For example, the word fly is a noun in this example. A fly in a flue. Okay, so this is a noun, meaning the small insect. Yeah. But in another case, it is also a verb. For example, let us fly. Yeah, so it's a verb here. So we have one form, but it can't appear as both noun and verb. Okay, so this is a verb. You can say let us fly, and you can also change the form based on the subject. Flies. Yeah, she flies. They fly. It flies. Yeah, so this is proof that this one is a verb indeed. Whereas this one is a noun, you can put an article in front of it. A fly, the fly. Yeah. So that is an example in English. Now, if we look at latent, another language, there are different syntactic forms of rosa, which means rose. And in Welsh, that, or net can appear depending on the preceding sound. Yeah, but perhaps it's a bit difficult for you to process this too. That's fine, just focus on English. Yeah, so there are forms which have two different syntactic rules. Sometimes fly can appear as noun, and sometimes fly can appear as verb. All right. Now, how can we identify words? Finding chunks, sequences which are uninterruptible and mobile. So this one means that fly and flew are words because they are self-contained unit. So they cannot insert anything. They are one unit that you cannot interrupt. So for example, fly, that's one, You cannot really put anything in between. Fly, no, that's not possible, So fly is one contained unit. And we need to know how to decide how many lexical items are covered by each chunk, So fly, does it cover one lexical item? Lexical item is like vocabulary, meaningful unit. So fly can be as a noun and can be as a verb. So you say that fly covers two lexical items. Okay, and now we have to decide how many different chunks belong to the same lexical item. Fly and flew, they are syntactic forms belonging to one lexical item. Okay, ternyata lexical item fly as a verb, punya dua bentuk, seperti fly and flew. This is past and this is present. So one lexical item yang artinya sama fly, terbang, and you can create two syntactic forms. The first one is present and the second one is past. All right, so now we can go to morpheme. How many morphemes are on this sentence? Morphemes are different from word because when we talk about word, you might count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but morphemes are even more detailed. So this is the answer. The definition of morpheme is the minimal unit of meaning or grammatical function. So the smallest unit of meaning, which has grammatical function. So ink, walking. Walking is one word, but you can separate it into smaller unit. And that smallest unit is called morpheme. So we have walk, one morpheme, and ink is another morpheme. So the sleep, walk, ink, albatross, chant, dream, that's one morpheme, and a is another morpheme, And dreamy is the word. And then lullaby. Karena ini nggak bisa dipisah we cannot say lala and then by, nggak ada artinya. But the y here has an adjectival meaning, dreamy. Okay, so take a look at the albatross, and lullaby. You cannot separate alba and tros because then it doesn't have meaning. It's the same as lala and by, they don't have meaning. So you cannot separate them. But dreamy, dream, and e is the adjective formation. So that's why you can separate this into two different morphemes. So we have to know which one is the smallest unit in one word. Jadi word itu bisa dipecah-pecah menjadi beberapa morfem. There is no upper limit to the number of morphemes per word. Jadi satu kata itu bisa banyak sekali morfemnya. Nggak masalah. Ya. Misalnya anti-disestablishmentarianism. Coba kalian ngomong ini. Coba dipraktekkan. Nah, you will find that it's very mouthful, very wordy gitu. Nah, itu terdiri dari beberapa morfem. Anti-disestablishment, and ism. You can also go to this video and listen more about morphemes. Okay, now we can compare utterances which have partial similarity. Sniffed, grunted, jadi ini sama ya, ini adalah verb yang diberi morfem penanda past tense. Ini juga verb, dan ini penanda past tense, jadi ada kesamaannya ya. And then this is lay, ya, penanda adverb, arrogantly and loudly. Gitu ya, maksudnya seperti itu. Oke, morfem juga punya beberapa tipe. So there are several types of morphemes. Classify the types of morpheme in this sentence. Okay, we will have to classify them. Nah, morphemes ini bisa dikategorikan menjadi free and bound. Kemudian free morpheme bisa dikategorikan menjadi lexical and functional. Bound morpheme bisa dikategorikan menjadi derivational and inflectional. Contoh free lexical morpheme, teach and shock. Contoh free functional morpheme, and the. Contoh bound derivational morphemes, re and nes. Contoh bound and inflectional morphemes, s and ed. Okay, so what are the differences? We are going to see the explanation here. Free morphemes, ya, sesuai dengan namanya, they can stand by themselves as single words. For example, new and tour. Jadi ketika morfem itu bisa berdiri sendiri menjadi satu kata yang ada artinya, gitu ya. Free morphemes, jadi bebas. Tapi kalau bound atau terikat, ya, they cannot stand alone and are typically attached to another form. Jadi awalan, imbuhan, akhiran, affixes, ya, re, is, ed, s, ya, jadi kayak misalnya book, kata dasarnya kan book ya, ini sendiri ada artinya. So you can say that there are two morpheme. The first one is book. This is the free morpheme. And then we have S. S here is a bound morpheme because it cannot stand alone. Dia harus selalu nempel ke morpheme yang lain. Now we have lexical and functional free morpheme. Kalau lexical, carrying the content of the message. Jadi ada arti penting gitu ya, merujuk ke satu entity. So it refers to a certain entity. For example, book. Yeah, we are referring to something that is containing of writings and pages gitu ya. So that's lexical. Tapi kalau functional itu dia tidak merujuk ke entity tertentu, tapi hanya memiliki fungsi membantu menggabungkan kata atau memberikan penanda articles gitu ya. Jadi itu apa ya, artinya nggak ada ya. Tapi dia jadi punya arti ketika dipasangkan dengan morfem yang lain. Jadi kemudian and. Okay, so morphemes are difficult to add to the language closed class of words. So functional morpheme itu articles, conjunction, and so on. Okay, now we go to bound morphemes. Ya, dalam bound morphemes, ya morfem-morfem yang terikat itu ada dua jenis, derivational and inflectional. Derivational itu bound forms used to make new words or different grammatical category from the stem. For example, suffix ment. Establish itu satu morfem, free morfem ya, establish. Kalau ditambahi ini kan verb ya, dan dia free. Kemudian ditambahi ment. Ment is a bound morpheme. When you combine them, you have establishment. Nah, itu menjadi noun. Jadi berubah ya grammatical kategorinya dari verb menjadi noun. So this is called as derivational morpheme. Nah, sekarang inflectional morpheme. Inflectional morpheme adalah bound morphemes used to indicate the grammatical function of a word. For example, plural suffix s. Jadi contoh saya yang tadi, book, ketika diberi inflectional morpheme s menunjukkan plural, ini noun, books, tetap noun juga. Jadi grammatical function-nya tidak, jadi grammatical kategorinya tidak berubah. Jadi kategorinya tetap noun, tapi function-nya berbeda. Ini singular, ketika ditambahi bound morpheme s, dia menjadi noun yang plural. Gitu ya. So hope this is not too confusing for you. You can read the chapter again and you can repeat the explanation. You can also ask me later. Okay, so morpheme also behave like phonemes. Dalam artian mereka punya variasi gitu ketika diucapkan. Jadi plural itu kan s ya. Tapi ketika diucapkan kadang-kadang muncul sebagai s, sebagai z, atau z. Tergantung dari morfem yang lain yang di-attach ya. Misalnya cats ya, s. Morfem s-nya muncul sebagai s, cats. Tapi ketika dalam dogs ya, itu lebih ke z, jadi voiced. Dia bisa juga muncul sebagai z, jadi horses gitu ya. So variasi ini ketika diucapkan ini kita sebut sebagai allomorph ya. Alright, there are some more resources that you can check out. Yeah, these are the links. That's all. Alright, if you have any questions, you can type your questions in the comment of the video, comment section of the video, or you can type in the WhatsApp group, or you can write down in Sipejak. There are so many channels to reach me. Thank you, everybody. Hope you have a nice day. And don't forget to do the assignment and check your attendance.